headlines of VTV News. Top leader Tô Lâm begins state visit in Ireland. Hà Giang province takes proactive measures to mitigate landslide risks. And later on in our world news, Iran launches missile attack on strategic centers in Israel.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to VTV News, broadcast live to you from Hanoi. You're with me, Lina Fatman. Here's the top news of the hour. General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam Central Committee and State President Tô Lâm, along with the high-ranking Vietnamese delegation, landed at Dublin Airport at 8:30 p.m. on October the 1st local time. This marks the beginning of a state visit to Ireland at the invitation of Irish President Michael Higgins. This visit is the first of its kind since the two countries established diplomatic relations in 1996. Ireland and Vietnam share several similarities, particularly in their history, patriotism, resilience, and rich, unique cultures. There remains tremendous potential for enhanced cooperation and mutual development. During the visit, leaders from both countries are expected to discuss measures to strengthen collaboration in areas where Vietnam has needs and Ireland holds strengths. These include high-quality investment, science and technology, innovation, digital transformation, energy transition, and education, especially higher education. Ireland is currently Vietnam's sixth largest trading partner among EU members. Two-way trade reached $3.5 billion in 2023 and $2.73 billion in the first 7 months of 2024. On the morning of October the 2nd, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính headed the National Steering Committee for the implementation of Vietnam's commitments at COP26, chaired the fifth meeting of the Steering Committee. Opening the session, he emphasized the increasing complexity of climate change and natural disasters, which are causing severe consequences. As a result, combating climate change requires swifter action, including implementing commitments on emission reduction. The Prime Minister affirmed that the current situation further reinforces green development as an inevitable trend. He highlighted 5 specific task groups: perfecting institutions, responding promptly to policies, establishing mechanisms to avoid wasting social resources, and promoting research, development, and innovation suitable for Vietnam's conditions. The Prime Minister also emphasized the importance of developing smart governance methods, technology transfer, clean energy industry formation, and human resource training to meet these requirements. According to the IMF, Vietnam's economy is expected to recover this year due to continued strong external demand, stable foreign direct investment, and easing policies. The organization appreciates the authorities' swift actions to maintain macroeconomic stability as the post-pandemic economic recovery faces headwinds, both domestically and internationally. The IMF also noted plans to promote public investment disbursement and effectively control inflation risks. Additionally, quick actions have been taken to limit risks in the real estate market and corporate bonds. However, the IMF also cautioned that exports, the main driver of the Vietnamese economy, could weaken if global growth falls short of expectations or if geopolitical tensions or trade disputes increase. Vietnam has maintained a key destination for foreign direct investment, or FDI, as FDI inflows continue to increase. Total registered capital reached nearly $25 billion in the past 9 months, an increase of over 11.6% year-on-year. A number of global corporations are committed to establishing Vietnam as a major production hub in their supply chains.
partnering with a local company that has 35 years of experience. This group aims to establish a large production center in Vietnam to dominate the regional market and achieve a global production capacity of 3 billion units per year by 2028. It is consistently investing in research and development.
Pharmaceutical leader with strong credentials. Obviously, there is already a strong foundation with, factories like the ones from Stella Pimefanco.
FDI is both a financial and technological resource crucial for Vietnam's economic development. Recently, FDI disbursement reached $17.3 billion in the first 9 months, up nearly 9% year-on-year.
The province has invested in east-west connecting routes and has developed a system of expressways that connect both centrally and locally funded routes.
Alongside investment incentives, legal regulations on business investment are being amended to create favorable conditions for investors.
The ministry has recommended that the government and the National Assembly amend the law on public investment to remove legal obstacles, unlock resources for development, simplify procedures, and enhance decentralization and oversight.
International organizations report that Vietnam's stable macroeconomy, positive economic recovery, and global manufacturer supply chain diversification are attracting significant FDI this year.
The Vietnam Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, or PMI, fell below the 50-point threshold in September due to the severe impact of Storm Yagi, according to a report by financial institution S&P Global. The PMI dropped to 47.3 points in September. The report noted that heavy rains and floods forced many production and business activities to halt, disrupting production lines and supply chains. As a result, output and new orders decreased significantly, while input inventories fell to a near record low. Despite these setbacks, S&P Global reports that businesses remain optimistic about next year's outlook. This optimism stems from the continued high demand for goods and the expectation that the manufacturing industry will enter a recovery cycle after the storm. The export turnover of wood and forestry products reached $12.5 billion in the past 9 months, an increase of more than 17% compared to the same period last year. The main export markets for Vietnam's wood industry are the United States, accounting for over 50%, China, Europe, Japan, and South Korea. However, according to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, wood production will face many challenges in the last 3 months of the year. Due to the impact of Storm Yagi, 170,000 hectares of planted forests in the northern provinces were damaged. Many wood processing factories were also severely affected. The European Union has reviewed its regulation on textile quality, aiming to raise standards to a higher level. The goal is that by 2030, textile products in the European market must be highly durable and recyclable. To meet these goals, all products must primarily be made from recycled fibers, free of harmful chemicals, and produced in an environmentally friendly manner, all while respecting social rights.
All textile products entering the European market must adhere to stringent standards. Clothes are everyday items that come into direct contact with our skin, and fabric dust can be inhaled. Consequently, dyes and softeners must be free of chemicals that could cause skin allergies. These standards have become essential, with ecological and environmental factors gaining increased attention.
Currently, eco-design has become mandatory in the textile sector, with specific regulations being introduced. For example, textile products must now meet a certain durability standard in a product's life cycle. The EU plans to mandate a minimum product lifespan of 2 years, meaning that within 2 years, the product should not deteriorate or force consumers to replace it due to failure to meet normal standards.
Discarded clothing is a significant source of pollution, and fabric is very difficult to recycle. The forthcoming regulations could be even stricter, requiring apparel importers to take responsibility.
We demand a comprehensive approach to the textile sectors to ensure its transition from a fast fashion model to a circular textile model. We call for sustainable standards in the textile industry to be established as a priority.
The European Commission continues to regularly review and tighten clothing criteria under its sustainable and circular textile strategy.
And up next, let's take a look at the foreign exchange rate. Coming up next, Hà Giang province takes proactive measures to mitigate landslide risks. An online 3D exhibition recreates Capital Liberation Day. Heavy rains have hit the northern mountainous region in recent days, causing river water levels to rise dramatically. Hà Giang province has been hit particularly hard by flash floods and landslides. 24 houses have been destroyed and nearly 100 households were forced to evacuate urgently to safer areas. As the rainy season is far from over, ensuring public safety remains the top priority for authorities.
According to officials in Bắc Quang district, the affected area is home to over 100 households. Chuk, a local village leader, shared that he had noticed unusual activity during his random inspection.
I heard a loud noise as water sprayed against a large rock. Suddenly, the straw shed collapsed and water flooded my house. I quickly grabbed my child and urged my wife to move to higher ground.
This area already been flagged as a high-risk zone by local authorities.
We have been proactive in deploying preventive measures, such as reviewing vulnerable areas and educating residents on flood risks. This helped reduce the extent of the damage.
Bắc Quang district is now planning to reassess and evaluate all households located in hazardous zones.
We will work more thoroughly and decisively to propose a project to resettle residents in safe areas.
Aside from available land, the costs of developing resettlement areas are substantial. Hà Giang and other northern mountainous provinces require additional resources to stabilize the lives of affected residents.
Heavy rains are currently hitting Nghệ An and Thừa Thiên Huế provinces, raising the risk of dangerous landslides and flash floods. As the region prepares for the peak of the rainy season later this year, Quảng Nam province has begun urgently relocating several villages at risk of landslides. The province is also developing strategies to help residents better cope with natural disasters.
Bắc Trà My district contains 95 landslide-prone sites directly threatening residential communities across 12 communes. Every rainy season, floods submerge hundreds of villages, destroying many homes. For the mountainous people of Quảng Nam, evacuating during disasters has become second nature.
Thanks to the government, this house has provided shelter during the rainy season. We can stay here, so it's a relief.
Building on the success of these multi-purpose community houses, which double as storm shelters, mountainous districts like Bắc Trà My continue to build similar facilities in each village.
Local authorities are working with village leaders to mobilize people in high-risk flood and landslide areas to evacuate to these safety shelters.
With floods always a possibility, the district has plans for further relocations. We're prioritizing the construction of community houses.
The 9 mountainous districts of Quang Nam are no strangers to devastating impacts of natural disasters after the catastrophic events of 2020, which claimed 47 lives and caused hundreds of billions of Vietnam dong in damage. The province has gradually reduced losses each year by implementing a range of preventative measures.
The labor export support policy has been highly effective in recent years, helping people from Lai Châu province find jobs in their foreign countries. This has increased their incomes, improved their families' financial situations, and contributed to the overall development of the locality. In Phong Tho, a border district in Lai Châu, nearly 400 people have participated in labor export to various markets over the past 3 years. This rate has exceeded the plan by nearly 200%.
This spacious two-story house belongs to Li Jin Hung family, located in Na Giang village, Phong Tho district. Hung worked in Japan for 5 years and is currently completing paperwork to return there for work.
I started working in 2017 and came back in 2022. I think labor export is good, and I think young people should do it to change their lives.
So far, 86 people in the locality have gone to work abroad in various markets. In the past 3 years, labor export has been supported by the people of our commune. During their time abroad, they send home their salaries to develop the local economy.
Phong Tho, a border district in Lai Châu province, faces numerous challenges. However, thanks to effective policies, the number of people participating in labor export has steadily risen. Over the past 3 years, nearly 400 workers have found employment abroad in construction, mechanical engineering, and other industries, earning an average monthly salary of over $1,000.
We have issued favorable policies to promote labor export. We hope to send more people abroad to work in various markets.
Labor export has helped the locality address employment issues, increase incomes, and improve living standards, effectively contributing to the local goal of poverty reduction.
This year, many Khmer families facing housing difficulties are looking forward to their important Sen-Dolta holiday with joy. This is because they have new, spacious homes to celebrate in. The gifts given under the National Target Program to rid Vietnam of temporary, dilapidated houses have helped Khmer families stabilize their lives and improve their economic conditions.
This house was handed over at the end of August, fulfilling the dream of this 80-year-old woman. She's happy now that she gets to celebrate her Sen-Dolta in this new home for the first time.
I'm so happy to receive the new house and celebrate Sen-Dolta to honor my ancestors. I'll also visit the temple during the holiday. It's really exciting to have a house.
Many houses were built on allocated land in Ca Đao town, and with financial support for Khmer families in need. The initiative not only brings joy during the Sen-Dolta holiday, but also strengthens the confidence of the local Khmer community. It is part of the National Target Program on Socioeconomic Development in Ethnic Groups, which aims to transform the living standards of ethnic people.
Now I have a home to celebrate Sen-Dolta in, and I feel less worried about housing thanks to the government's support.
So far, the district has mobilized resources to build 38 houses valued at $77,000 for low-income and near-poverty households, including those of ethnic groups. Additionally, the district has organized vocational training courses for rural workers, helping to improve both the material and spiritual lives of the local community, contributing to social welfare and overall development.
In response to the Prime Minister's temporary and dilapidated house removal campaign, hundreds of new homes have been constructed with support from Can Tho City. By the end of this year, the city aims to complete the construction of 445 homes for near-poverty households, enabling them to settle down and focus on improving their livelihoods.
Traditionally, exploring valuable historical documents meant visiting archives, museums, or research institutes. Now, digital technology has diversified the ways we learn about and experience history. It has brought more engaging experiences to the public, helping people, especially the younger generation, easily access and develop a deeper interest in history.
People of the Capital, the online 3D exhibition presents numerous valuable documents and images depicting the struggle against colonialists. It showcases a long historical period from the late 19th century to 1954. The exhibition takes viewers on a journey through the heroic history of the capital and the nation. Visitors can explore images of the ancient citadel of Hanoi, the Opera House Square, and the advance toward the Tonkin Palace.
These images are vivid, and the valuable documents comprehensively cover many historical memories. Through them, we can understand history more clearly.
With modern technology, people can sit at home and easily and conveniently access archive materials. More than ever, the importance of archival documents is being promoted and spread.
This online exhibition enabled viewers to relive the heroic atmosphere of that historic day 70 years ago through realistic visual effects.
The application of new technology aligns with current trends, allowing long-term preservation and frequent use. It helps to widely promote history to multiple generations.
We have chosen 3D technologies to recreate the fire and smoke-filled atmosphere, as well as the heroic Hanoi on the day of return. We want to reflect the nation's glory, so that those who love Hanoi can immerse themselves in this atmosphere.
Reviving historical documents through digital technology enhances the public's appreciation for Hanoi's history, the land with a 1,000-year legacy of civilization. This approach fosters patriotism and pride in the younger generation.
Coming up next in our world news, Iran launches missile attack on strategic centers in Israel. And Mark Rutte takes over as new NATO chief. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC, on Wednesday fired a barrage of ballistic missiles at key military and security targets in Israel. Iran claimed the strikes were in response to the recent killings of Hamas, Hezbollah, and IRGC leaders. The Israeli military reported that Iran launched about 180 ballistic missiles against several targets in Israel. Most of these were reportedly intercepted by Israeli defenses, though some Iranian airstrikes landed in central and southern Israel. 2 injuries were reported in Israel, and 1 Palestinian man was killed in the West Bank. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called Iran's missile attack on Israel a big mistake and vowed retaliation. In response, Iran stated on Tuesday that it had used domestically produced missiles in its attack targeting strategic centers in Israel, asserting that the operation was carried out within the framework of Iran's legitimate right to self-defense and based on international law. The international community has expressed grave concern over escalating tensions as the cycle of retaliation continues. The Vietnamese embassy in Israel has advised Vietnamese residents to strictly follow safety and security regulations set by local authorities due to the risk of rocket attacks from Iran. In its notice, the embassy reported that at 2 p.m. local time on Tuesday, Israel's Home Front Command issued new security directives which limit gatherings to 30 people in open spaces and 300 in closed spaces, require beach closures, and advise individuals to reach a protected space within 90 seconds. The directives apply to both northern and central Israel, including Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. and will remain in effect until 8 p.m. on October the 5th. Residents are urged to avoid high-risk areas such as government facilities, military zones, and fuel storage areas, and to stay in close contact with the embassy. In case of emergencies, they are required to seek assistance and information regarding citizen protection measures. Oil prices climbed about 3% on Tuesday after Iran launched a barrage of ballistic missiles at Israel. Brent futures gained 2.6% to settle at $73.56 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude oil rose 2.4% to $69.83. Earlier in the day, both crude benchmarks had spiked by over 5%. A political risk strategist noted that Iran's oil assets are likely high on the list for potential retaliation. Furthermore, an Israeli strike on Iranian oil production or export facilities could disrupt supply significantly, potentially by more than 1 million barrels per day. Former Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte has taken office as the new Secretary General of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO. He was welcomed to NATO headquarters in Brussels by outgoing Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg. Speaking after the ceremony, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte pledged to ensure the alliance defenses remain effective and credible against future threats. He also emphasized NATO's need to fulfill its commitments to support Ukraine in ongoing conflicts. Addressing concerns about the upcoming U.S. election, the new NATO chief expressed confidence in his ability to work with either former President Donald Trump or Vice President Kamala Harris.
Security has to be a team effort.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's it for this edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for watching. To rewatch our program, you can download VTV Go from App Store or Google Play, or tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4Go. Goodbye for now.